Hey, Metal Maniacs. This is Coffin Hunters, and you are cranking it up on
Dave Softees Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio.
Starting with the spark of consuming water, dry and sea. Peace broken in the night, sinister voracious light. Harbinger of the infernal blaze. No, I will not bend. You have my own, and I won't live without. My
Alrighty, Metal Maniacs, here we go. Please help me welcome to Metal Messiah Radio, hailing from Sonoma County, California, from heavy metalers, Coffin Hunters. Joining us, we have Sean Rivera, the singer, and guitarist Sweden, as well as who is in the band that is not here. We have Jorge Guzman, who is the drummer, and Brian Kreitz, who's the bassist. So I want to welcome both Sean and Sweden here on the Metal Meltdown, and thank you for this opportunity.
Hey, Dave, how you doing? Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
I'm glad that we could be here, as Brother Vlad, who of Vlad Promotions, informed me not that long ago that he has some new bands on his roster, and if I could check them out and have them on for an interview. So all things aligned properly that we could do this. So I'm really happy that we are having this opportunity.
Yeah, hail Vlad for the hookup.
Yeah, definitely.
He is a great ear. Most of the stuff that we do is very thrashy, but when it comes to like mainstream, I wouldn't say mainstream, but what traditional metal is what I mean to say. When it comes to traditional metal, he has a good ear for that too. Even some black metal, melodic black metal, he has had on his roster in the past. He just has a really good ear, and I try to have a good ear too. So we work pretty well together, and it's pointing the underground. That's what it's all about to us.
Hell yeah.
So let's learn all we can about Coffin Hunters. I see the band formed in 2017, so you're a very young band, and I'm interested to know on how you got the name Coffin Hunters as your band's name. Could you tell us a little bit of story about that?
Yeah, we kicked around a few different names when we were starting out, and the three of us that play instruments were huge fans of Stephen King's Dark Tower series, a series of novels that he's written over the course of his career. And there are a few different bands out in the world that use literary references from that series, and the Coffin Hunters is just a reference to a gang of thugs that comes up in one of the stories there.
Ah, that's interesting. That's cool.
But it has, imagery of graves and grave robbers, and, it captures that little death obsession that I think it draws a lot of us to heavy metal in the first place.
A little bit of the dark side.
Yes, exactly.
That's cool. And I have checked out your latest CD, of course, the Fire Night 2019 release. This being the band's first full release. It's a killer metal offering, and as I hear it, I feel the sense of a bit of a Maiden vibe to it, if you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely love Maiden and all those classic heavy metal bands and everything. So definitely pulls from that influence.
And who doesn't love that stuff? Who doesn't love that stuff, right?
I mean, it's the root of why we're here.
Right, exactly. And I'm very interested in how your music all comes together. When you get to do your music, who's responsible for writing the lyrics and the melodies, the music? How does this all come together? What's the process like for you?
So usually what will happen is Sweden or Brian will have like riffs and stuff, and they'll put them together, sort of arrange them, and then Jorge will put the drums to it, and I'll come in, kind of listen to it, and then put the vocal melodies and write the lyrics to it. And usually we'll have like a general concept or something like that. Like Sweden or Brian might be like, "Hey, couldn't you write about this sort of subject matter or something like that?" And then I'll go and write that as far as like the lyrics and stuff.
Very good. And who produced the Fire Night, and where was this mixed, mastered, and recorded?
So it was recorded and mixed with Paul Haley, who produced it as well. And, we as a band ourselves had a lot of production behind it. We self-funded it. And so, we went to Paul Haley. He works at Greenhouse Studios in Petaluma, California, which is really close to us, just a town south. And, they have a great studio down there. And we did it fast. We did it in the course of a couple weekends.
And this was self-released?
Yes.
And you consider yourself a do-it-yourself band, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that's very, in the underground, that's very, very much the situation. A lot of bands, they need to do it for themselves, otherwise it won't get done.
Yeah, definitely. And then the tools nowadays really allow bands that are doing it themselves to make it, it's a lot easier nowadays to be able to sort of do that. We definitely have the access to the tools needed for that nowadays.
And we live in a great area where we're surrounded by a lot of professional musicians and people with a lot of know-how and a lot of skill with, many parts of the music production experience. We have people who book great shows and people who run great venues. And so we have...
You have a beautiful wine country over there.
Most definitely.
Very
and
good
some of the best
part
beer in the
of-
world. So.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, very good stuff. Also, your imagery is very impressive. Could you talk to us a bit about the CD art? Could you tell us more about this and who designed your band's logo?
Yeah, so the cover artwork, first of all, was made by a local musician and an artist and a painter named Gio Benedetti. Fantastic piece of art. We actually got prints of it made for the whole band as a holiday present this year. But yeah, he designed that artwork around the title track, the Fire Knight. As you can see, if you look at the art, you got a knight in the foreground, sword drawn, ready to go to battle with a demon of fire that's taken over the town nearby, the stronghold. So it's all an allusion to what happened a couple years back here, where we were living in a studio basically with all of our gear in Santa Rosa, and this big wildfire happened that spread through a lot of Santa Rosa and burnt down several neighborhoods, and it got really, really close to our studio. And despite advice to the contrary, Jorge, our drummer, got a couple of homies and drove up there and got all of our gear out of the studio and went past police barricades and really put themselves at risk to get our gear out, so that we kind of created a story about it. The Fire Knight,
That makes sense.
warrior braving this fire demon and rescuing that which is of most value to us, our shit,
Yeah.
And so the whole artwork is based around that. So yeah, Gio Benedetti, who's a local musician, he's played in several bands, Brothers Comatose, Toast Machine, a great lover of metal and a big supporter. So we went straight to him when we saw that he was doing artwork for other bands and posters and stuff like that. And then with the logo, that was actually my first, I'm Sweden. That was my first attempt at any kind of graphic design using vector programs. So I taught myself how to use an Illustrator application and created a logo based on a couple of pencil drawings that Brian and I had been passing back and forth in a notebook.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Now, I remember in the news about the fires there in your neck of the woods, and we have a promoter from Northern California, Northern Hollywood, actually, and she was mentioning something about that. When was that happening again, all those fires in your neck of the woods?
It's like every year now. The one that took over
was.
Santa Rosa was at the end of 2017.
Okay.
That was the Kincaid Fire, I believe.
Yeah.
And so that was the one that kind of inspired this album cover. But it happens every year now, that we get these really dry summers and then the hills catch on fire.
It's amazing what's going on with this planet of ours, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's something to see.
Yeah, crazy. And I was looking on your Facebook, and I noticed that you had some live performances out there. So that being said, it's really great to know that Coffin Hunters is a live performing band. And have you been performing out there in support of the Fire Night? And getting back to the CD art, well, as soon as I saw it, I thought of, this is just a really good, like, power metal type of imagery that you see in a lot of power metal with the knight and all that. But your story sounds much better than the way I described it.
But yeah, I can definitely see the imagery is kind of that power metal sort of vibe and stuff. But yeah, I mean it's definitely based off of something that happened. Sort of the idea of that anyway.
Right.
Sort of metaphorically.
And I do love
Point
some
from
power
that.
metal, man. Like good early Halloween and stuff like that. And those album covers were sweet. And
I love Keeper of the Seven Keys.
And like some Dio and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I
has
love that
power
stuff,
metal
yeah.
vibes.
Oh yeah, I
those
love that classic
sweet,
metal. I
yeah.
love that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Rainbow Rising, I love that album
Oh,
cover.
yeah,
So we
hand
wanted
grabbers.
something epic, something
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah, that's my favorite Rainbow album of all time. After that, it was a different Rainbow. I was just watching something about that on YouTube actually, and Rainbow Rising is a classic. And getting back to touring though, and doing live gigs, I mean, can you share with us some of the highlights from your past performances in support of the Fire Night?
We've played quite a few shows recently. We've gotten much more productive about it, and for a long time we were training in the studio and training at the rehearsal space, but we're out now. And so we got our very first show. We got to play with Hellfire and Haunt down in San Francisco, which was a fantastic initiation. Those are pretty local bands. Hellfire is San Francisco based, and Haunt is out of Fresno.
And also Space Vacation.
And Space Vacation, who are where do they hail from? They are San Francisco, aren't they? But a lot of the guys live up here in our area too. And so we played that show. We played a number of local gigs here with some of our friends and new friends like Plague and Incredulous. We're looking forward to playing with bands like Tressalence and all these guys that are really kicking out good metal in our immediate area.
Oh yeah.
Upcoming, we have some really fun shows. We are going to get to do Haunt's album release show out in Fresno. That's coming up on January 3rd. Which we're playing with Fortress and Haunt, and that's on the 3rd, next Saturday, and then that's at Strummers in Fresno.
That's very cool. Beyond those shows, do you have any other shows that we can spread the word
on? Yeah, with that
January 25th.
Yeah, with we're playing with Lord Mountain.
Water into Blood.
It's not Water into Blood. It's the Brand's other band.
Oh.
It's I have it written down here though. But,
and then we're also playing a New Year's Eve show locally with some friends at a house party. So we're gonna try to tear down a neighborhood with some heavy metal.
Sounds like fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but the 25th show is at Three Disciples, playing with Realms of Vision, Amongst Thieves, and Lord Mountain. Yeah, and that's January 25th.
And then we're actually doing some traveling too. We're gonna take our heavy metal act up to Portland.
Yeah, and that's at Montevilla Saloon. And we're playing with Dislocator and Velvet Merkin. And that's Saturday, February 8th.
I see. So you pretty much stay on the West Coast?
So far.
Are you looking to broaden your horizons as far as that goes?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you looking to broaden your horizons, to stretch out to the either East Coast or even to Europe? Any plans on doing something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, I think we would definitely, I
mean, we want to take this everywhere we can, If we all got to quit our day jobs and travel and rock and roll, that's, what we want to do.
Yeah, that's the dream right there.
Yeah, I believe it. I hear it.
Just not kill ourselves doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the world of the underground, it's not as easy as it would hope to be.
Yeah, you got to go back to work on Monday a lot of the time.
Yep.
I hear you. I definitely understand that. Okay, so I was on the YouTube channel. I was looking for videos for Coffin Hunters, and I saw Coffin Hunters Topic. I saw some live performance videos, maybe some promos, but I didn't see any official music or lyrical videos for the Fire Night, unless they're out there somewhere and I haven't noticed them. Are there any plans, or are there any videos out there for the Fire Night?
We don't have any videos for the Fire Night out yet. We did make a lyric video for our EP. It was our friend Brian Stoner who made, it's Derek Stoner. I don't know why.
He's Brian. Brian's like homie from back in the day.
Derek Stoner made a lyric video for the title track of our our EP, Coffin Lord. So that's floating out there on YouTube.
And that got good response. So I really think it is a good idea to do some lyric videos. And your lyrics are incredible, Sean. So I really think that people would want to see that. And they're dense, they're heavy, they're poetic, and getting the opportunity to read them along with the music, I think, is going to make for a full sensory experience.
I would have to agree. Great idea.
And then, we absolutely want to shoot a music video too. But again, being DIY and underground, it's just a matter of focusing that energy really well to make sure it's effective.
I agree. Yeah, and hopefully someone out there listening will hear this and give you guidance or help any way they can.
Yeah, I mean, and we want to support other professionals, and we're not here to mooch. We want to lift everybody else up along with us. We want to build shit.
Right, and as I said, and I say all the time, we are here in the underground, and we need to do things together as a team, because doing it alone is not so easy, and you know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And one of the main things when I say this is the way that the fans could help out too, by supporting the band by getting merch. That's really a very big part of these interviews, and how we could educate the fans on where they could get merch, where they could go and find stuff to support the bands that they love. So where would you say would be the best place for a fan of Coffin Hunters to get the CD or other merch. And if you have other merch available, we would love to hear what you do have available. But I'm going to give your Bandcamp link and your Facebook. That's coffinhunters1.bandcamp.com and facebook.com/Coffin Hunters. Would you say one of those links would guide your fans to the best place for them to get merch, or do you have another link that you would suggest to be better?
So we have no web store or anything like that. So to get merch from us, it's going to be a matter of sending us an email, and we'll figure something out, if it's PayPal or Venmo or whatever. But we'll walk down to the post office and slap a stamp on our merch and send it to you. That's what we're doing for now. But
yeah, we'd love to give you it.
What we have to offer is actually just the CD. We printed that, and it came out the fall of 2019. And then we just picked up from the presses on Thursday our first round of T-shirts. So that's just the Coffin Hunters logo from the album cover, the same one you see on our banner on the Facebook page and stuff like that, in yellow on a black T-shirt. And so we're going to make those available too.
That's good to know. That's good. Good news. And what do you guys do when you're not doing the band? As we are talking about the underground again and having to support yourselves in order to do the band and pay for the band, what do you guys in the band actually do for a living?
I work in an office, do like data entry kind of stuff. And,
yeah, you're very mysterious.
Yeah. But it's nothing too exciting. What you do is
yeah, I work at a ukulele. I work for a ukulele manufacturer named Kala Brand. So we make ukuleles and import ukuleles, and are one of the major distributors here in the United States. So yeah, word to Kala. I get to work as a shop technician there. So I have lots of fun getting to learn how to fix, set up, and build the instruments. And then the guys who aren't here, George works in, right now he works in solar, but he's a trained electrician. And then Brian is a professional psychologist.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we all have very interesting Bruce Wayne lives, as it were.
Very nice, very nice. And I want to thank you guys again for coming on Metal Meltdown to talk about your band. But I want to make sure that we covered everything we need to cover. Is there anything that you guys would like to get out there to inform the fans about that we have yet to discuss?
I'm sure there is, but it's going to hit me tomorrow in the shower.
I hear you.
You know how these things go. Like, really just a heartfent thank you to everybody who's reached out to us, who listens to us.
So
Thanks
much.
to you. Thank you to Vlad for, putting some faith behind it and helping us spread the word. I mean, when you create something, you love it, but you don't know if other people will, or if it's any good at all to other people's ears. And it's really exciting for us to hear that, we have fans across the world now, and we got a growing number of followers, and hopefully we can turn that into tours and like actual merch in your hands.
Yeah, what Sweden said, I second the emotion. Thank everyone that's got us to this point so far. We really appreciate all your support
and all the people that have worked with us. Paul and Gio and Marcos Garcia from the last EP, and we look forward to working with in the future. We're lucky to be connected to so many cool people and to such a cool art form that I think we all have a very almost spiritual connection to.
Sounds like you guys are actually having fun doing this, and it's working out pretty well for you.
Yeah,
it's a blast. Yeah,
we're not making money, but we're certainly happier people because of it.
We're making soul money.
Soul money.
Soul money.
I got you. You with blood. You're paying for it with your blood.
Yeah, I mean, if they want me to, I can ship my blood out to people if they really want.
Right. I got you.
It's all negative, so it's universal donor. So I'm sure there's a lot of demand.
Right. And would you guys care to talk about your gear at all? Would you like to talk about what you play and what you enjoy playing?
Well, my gear is my vocal cords.
Right.
So far, it's but right now I'm using just a Shure microphone. Given the I can't remember, it's like something like Beta, something. I just got it. So
it's a microphone.
It's a microphone. It makes noises.
I don't know how we love our big amps in the string section. Brian plays a big old amp peg with the classic amp peg head with the tubes, and then I got an old Marshall from the 80s. So the whole point is just big rock and roll sounding amplifiers that sound like all the people we love to listen to. Maidens, your Kiss, your Richie Blackmore, and Ace Frehley, and all those guitar players that had tones that I just fell in love with. That's sort of what I was chasing when I was looking for an amp, and I got lucky and found the right one at a young age and never had to worry about it again. And then, yeah, I don't know, we switched guitars a couple of times, but right now we're enjoying our Fenders. I like having a humbucker in the bridge and some single coil action up near the neck to change the tone a little bit. But that almost is secondary. Like our gear isn't, yeah, big old amps and then beer and
It's the most important of the gear.
and fire to create beautiful music, I guess.
Fire in our hearts and fire in our bellies.
And fire on record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And you started thanking the fans out there, but I want to make sure if there's anything else that you'd like to say to the Coffin Hunters fans that are tuning in out there. Anything else that you'd like to say to them?
Yeah, thanks, and please keep your ears out for us. We want to try to get to you. We want to get you our gear. We want to get you merch. We want to get shows in your neighborhood. We want to meet you and hang out and party. So if everything goes well, see you soon.
Definitely. I second that. Yeah, we definitely want to connect with you, any way we can. And we appreciate, all the support you've given us.
And, a lot of us who are fans of heavy metal are players of heavy metal and vice versa. So, y'all got bands, let's play together.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great plan, and I want to wish everyone in Coffin Hunters and you guys for being here and to talk about your music. I think that we have learned more about you. I want to wish you a great new year, and for all the years to come, I wish you success. Just keep doing what you do, and you'll have an open invitation to come back on Metal Meltdown to talk about your future releases if you'd like to do so.
Oh, we absolutely will.
We'd love to.
All right, so definitely keep in touch. If you have any, videos coming out that you're about to release, please hit me up and we'll help share it and spread the word. Or anything else related to your band, whether it's being shows or if you're coming out to the East Coast or going overseas or anything that may happen with your band. Just keep in touch with us here at Metal Meltdown, Metal Messiah Radio, and we'll help spread the word because that's what, like I said, the underground's all about that. It's all about the teamwork.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be in touch with you, Dave, for sure.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, man.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
I thank you for coming on the show and talking about your band and helping me support the underground because you deserve it.
Thanks, man. Our pleasure.
And thank you.
Let's go crank up some more Coffin Hunters now and crank it up loud. How about that?
Hail.
Sounds good.
All right.